So you're thinking about buying or selling a home in Northeast San Antonio. In this video, I'm going to be showing you around San Antonio on a map. This is really going to help you get a good idea of how we separate San Antonio into quadrants like Northeast, North, Northwest. Those are really important. It's also going to help ensure that you don't end up in the wrong neighborhood in the wrong part of town. So stay tuned for it all because you're not going to want to miss a minute of it, and we're going to get after it right now. If this is your first time to our channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living right here in San Antonio and its surrounding areas, make sure you subscribe or tap the bell for notifications to ensure that you are one of the first to be notified when we bring a new video to you with market updates. My name is Katie Powers, and my husband Steven Garza and I get phone calls and emails from people just like you every single day who are looking to make a move or purchase or sell real estate right here in San Antonio. Whether you're 6 days or 6 months away, we would absolutely love to hear from you. All of our information is listed right below in the description box, and Steve and I would be honored to be your realtors of choice to help you make that smooth transition. All right, so here's San Antonio on a map. Now, in order for me to really break down what we consider Northeast, North, Northwest, I'm gonna have to give you a little update or information on San Antonio as a whole, all right? So stay with me. San Antonio has 2 big loops. We have 1604 that goes all the way around. This is the outer loop. And then we have 410, which is your inner loop. Now, this may be controversial because not everybody, we don't have like defined lines of this is Northwest and this is Northeast. This is me and Steve's take on what exactly that is. So right here off 281, it cuts right down San Antonio, okay? And then you have I-35 over here, and then you have I-10. So these main freeways, along with 90, really, in my opinion, and most San Antonians' opinion, start those quadrants. So for the sake of this video, we're going over the Northeast. I consider the Northeast from 410 up I-35 and over to 281 and down. So this quadrant here is what we consider Northeast. From 281 to I-10, this section, they even call it far north central. This is what we would consider North San Antonio, just North San Antonio over here. And then on this side, this is when you start to get into the Northwest. Now, there's a lot of controversy on where does actual West San Antonio start versus Northwest. A lot of people will consider anything above 90 Northwest. A lot of people just say that. Technically, I would consider like 151 out this way and over would be your Northwest, and then this would be your West. I mean, we're just splitting hairs at this point. Anything below 90 is definitely Southwest. So I hope that helps explain a little bit when we say Northeast. So we are really going to be sticking in between 281 to 410 and 35 and in, okay? A lot of locals will consider this part of town to be Northeast as well. I personally do not, because there's so many suburbs in this area. So you've got Live Oak, Universal City, Windcrest, and Converse all in this area. So it's very rare to find a San Antonio address in this area because they usually have one of these suburb addresses. Usually, I'm not saying all the time, you will find some if we really zoom in here, like you will find San Antonio off Royal Ridge and this area. This gets into Windcrest, this is Converse. Live Oak's here. So I mean, we're probably talking this little area would be still considered Northeast. So I don't really view it that way. I really just stick to this quadrant right here. Okay, So with the basics done of what exactly our border lines are of Northeast, I wanted to help explain this part of town, and we're going to start bringing you more videos to really just break down San Antonio as well, because there's a lot of great neighborhoods and things to do, and San Antonio's gotten so big that you want to ensure that you're living in the same area that you're going to enjoy hanging out and doing those things, because you don't want to drive most people don't want to drive 45 minutes to an hour to work. So if you're going to be working in Cibolo, Randolph Air Force Base, or anything off of the I-35 corridor, the airport, those types of things, the Northeast, Cibolo, Schertz, those areas are something that might be on your radar. So in our Northeast vlog, Don't Move to the Wrong Neighborhood video, part 1, Steve and I take you to a lot of great areas in the Northeast. When I first moved to San Antonio, I started off on the west side and I bought my first house on the Northeast side. I absolutely love this part of town. It's very near and dear to my heart. I sell a lot of real estate in this part of town as well. So let's just talk about the main things. You have 281 that goes straight down into downtown. So you have easy access to 1604, I-35, 410, and this nifty freeway they just finished in the last 5 years. The street has always been there, but now they've made it like an actual freeway. So they took away all the stoplights. It's really nice. It's called Wurzbach Parkway. So if you work in medical center, but maybe don't like the homes in that area, don't want to live in that area, you've got Wurzbach Parkway to cut through. We also have commuters that come in from, Austin, New Braunfels, San Marcos, Cibolo, all of these areas that are up off I-35 that will come into work in medical center, which is over in this area. So what they'll do is they'll take I-35, cut in Wurzbach Parkway, and Wurzbach Parkway takes you straight into medical center. So really great freeway. It's very similar to the new freeway they put on the west side, 151. It's just a great shortcut and allows you to not have to go all the way down to 410, which is a little more congested. So this part of town, you've got some of the best parks, in my opinion. So you've got McAllister Park right in the middle of the Northeast. This is one of the largest parks in San Antonio. It's over 700 acres. It is huge. It has a lot of great things that you can do. It's got big open fields. So if you just want to go run or practice drills or throw frisbees or kites, any of those things, there's big open fields. Then you also have a huge dog park. My current dog is not as social as my previous dog. So before I was at that dog park all the time when I had a smaller yard. So I would go over to McAllister and wear my dogs out. Great dog park. They separate the large dogs from the big dogs. You'll see a lot of people actually like training their dogs at that park. It's pretty cool. So you've got McAllister. There's two big playgrounds. There's lots of trails. It does hook into Salado Creek, which actually goes all over San Antonio. So they're paved trails. So you can go all the way, like the paved trail will take you all the way along Wurzbach Parkway, but riding. So you can go into, Phil Hardberger Park, and it'll go all the way up into Eisenhower Park over here by the rim. Or the trail will go all the way down into the Missions, which is like literally south side down here. So I don't want to say how many miles because I'm probably going to get it wrong, but I know that it's well over 100 miles of trail that you can do, and you can jump on it straight from McAllister Park, which is really great. It also has like dirt trails, which Steve really likes dirt bike, like trail riding on his bike. So he really likes that. They have a really good, like a blue loop and a red loop in McAllister Park that you can go and do some trail riding. They have like races there, not so much like 5K, 10K running races because there's not so much pavement there to do that, but they do have trail runs and trail bike ride races there, which is pretty cool. They also have in this portion of the park, when you come in off of Jones-Maltzberger. When you come in over here, they do have some campsites. Now, they don't allow camping. You cannot like put your tent and stay overnight. I think at one point that was allowed. It's not anymore. But they do have like picnic tables and sites that you can go and picnic and hang out, which is really nice. So lots of stuff to do at McAllister Park. I go running in McAllister Park. I go bike riding in McAllister Park. It's a big family time for us. And in the video, we take you, in our vlog video, we take you into Stone Ridge. This is a great neighborhood at a great price. If you're looking for an entry-level home or your budget is under $300,000, this is, Hunter's Mill's great too. These two neighborhoods will get you in a home under $300,000, and it's a great neighborhood. Stone Ridge has a great HOA with a pool and a playground and a little baby walking trail, but they just put in a big covered pavilion. So really great HOA. It's only like $260, I think, a year. It's very inexpensive for HOAs, really nice pool. And then Hunter's Mill, you get the same houses. They're just a little newer. Stone Ridge was 80s, Hunter's Mill's 90s. So 90s to 2000. So just a little newer. Hunter's Mill does not have a pool, but it does have a really nice park that also, it's like, let's see, the park is like right here at the entrance of the neighborhood and it backs into McAllister. So you can play at that park or gain access to the McAllister trails to go in through Hunter's Mill as well. In Stone Ridge, you also can get into McAllister. They have an entrance right here. So you can go into McAllister Park and ride those trails straight from that neighborhood. That was a big deal for me. When I was a single mom and I bought my first house, I wanted to be able to get to a park easily and be able to do like nature things with my son. And that neighborhood really allowed me that ability to do so. So really great area, great neighborhoods, good school district right here off Thousand Oaks. It's really like a main feeder through the Northeast. So you've got Thousand Oaks that runs straight through and will get you straight to I-35. And then you also have Jones-Maltzberger here that takes you, well, it really goes here. It doesn't necessarily go to 1604, but it goes straight down here. And you can catch Worsbach Parkway from Jones. And then you've got Redland, which is just a little one here. So you do have some new builds that are being built here. You've got a lot of new builds, Bulverde in that area. And then you've got other new builds that are over in this area as well. So lots, not a whole lot of new builds because this area is older. It was really built out in the 80s to 2010, I would say. There's not a lot of homes that are newer than that, except for the new build communities. And there are little small neighborhoods where they found patches of land that they could build in. So it's not very common to find new builds on this side of town. It's definitely more established. You have a lot of 80s homes off of Jones-Maltzberger on this side. Steve and I also brought you to a neighborhood on that neighborhood, which was Ocala Village. It does not have an HOA. It's an older homes. They were built in the 80s, but the neighborhood is very nice. Everybody keeps their yard really great. Homes in that neighborhood are closer to $400,000. So you really get a good mix of home prices on the Northeast side. And if you go all the way up north, you can also get into the Northeast side outside of 1604. So the key here is school districts. So it's Northeast ISD, but when you get off Evans Road, if you watched our Stone Oak video, you know that Stone Oak is on the other side of 281 in this area. Evans Road cuts through Stone Oak, but Evans Road also continues onto the northeast side of town. And when you get over here to Green Mountain, there's a new school they put over here, which is Judson ISD. So most of the neighborhoods in the Northeast are NEISD, Northeast Independent School District. However, when you get over here and hit Judson Road, there are pockets. I can't explain it to you. I'm not on the board. I don't understand how the districts do their districts. But like Steuben, High Country, all of this is Northeast ISD. But then you get like over here and this way, and then it's Judson ISD. So you just want to make sure you're in the right school district for what you want. I would highly recommend Northeast ISD, but if you are living in, which there are some beautiful neighborhoods up here off Evans Road, particularly one of my favorites, Steve and I do take you into Foxgrove, but there's another one called Wortham Oaks, which is over here. There it is, Wortham Oaks. If you're going to Wortham Oaks is technically Judson ISD, but they have a great elementary within the neighborhood. And then they have a new high school over here off Evans, which is a really highly rated high school, one of the best high schools in Judson ISD. So, excuse me, sometimes the overall ISD doesn't really mean a whole lot. It's just where your kid's gonna have to go based off your neighborhood. So just thought I'd hit on that because schools are important, especially if you're moving here and you don't know the area. You definitely want to make sure you're putting your children in the best school district in your budget as well, okay? So like I said, Thousand Oaks cuts through, and then you have Jones-Maltsberger that goes this way, and then another big street that cuts through the northeast is Nacogdoches. Nacogdoches turns into Pure and Vital once it gets over here, and then it hits 410. Another great thing about the Northeast is the airport is here. So you have the airport super close. It can be a pro and a con. It's really what you're looking for. I love the airport close. When you got a 6 a.m. flight and I know it only takes me 10 to 15 minutes to get there, I don't have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to make my flight. So I like being close to the airport. Certain neighborhoods have more airplane noise than others. Stone Ridge is one of them. I'm just going to be very honest with you, right? It's one of my favorite neighborhoods. I own a house in that area, but Stone Ridge, this area right here, gets some heavy airplane noise. However, the city has reimbursed homeowners in that area for new windows. So when I bought my first house, the city just released it. So I got new windows for my whole house. It was like $22,000 because it was like the noise barrier windows, and the city reimbursed me for the whole amount. So you do have perks, even though if you're outside, it's kind of loud. In the house, you don't really hear it. So something to think about, but some neighborhoods have more airport noise than others. You're also very close to Alamo Heights. Not everybody will necessarily care, but they've got some great restaurants and shopping just straight down 281. And this is Alamo Heights. If you watch our Alamo Heights video, I tell you about all of the things going on. There's a lot to do in that area. But there is a golf course right here, and also the quarry is right there. So lots of shopping, restaurants. We go there quite a bit. It's an easy trek right down 281. And easy to and from. You also have Comanche Lookout Park. This is actually a very historical park. It is called Comanche Lookout because it is actually one of the highest points in San Antonio that's not hill country, like it's just a random hill. And the Comanche Indians would actually sit on that hill because you can see straight down into San Antonio from that hill. It's actually a really pretty view. And they would sit up there and they would wait for the travelers on, their horse and buggies to leave to go wherever they were going, north, west, and they would attack them. So Comanche Lookout Park, it's a great view. It's a great history. There's a library right next to it, but they've got great trails and views. It's a great hike. I mean, if you're wanting elevation, it is a heavy elevated hike. But my son, when he was like 6, we would go there all the time. He would say he wanted to go to the Indian Park, and we would go and hang out at Comanche Lookout Park and hike it. And he just really loved it. They also have like geotagging in that area. It's also a Pokemon stop. Gosh, I really sound like a mom, don't I? But that's what we would do. That's how I would get them outside, is we would go, you know, go look for Pokemon, or we would do geotagging. And like, if you don't know what geotagging is, it's actually really fun. You just find different little presents that people leave behind. You know, we would find little rubber duckies, and then you leave something behind. Like if you take a toy, then you leave a toy. And so it was really fun when he was like 6. Probably couldn't even pay him to do it now at 16, but super cute park, great area. And you also have a lot of other little parks throughout. So one of my favorite parks, if McAllister's just a little busy or I'm not looking to go on Salado Creek, I will go to Mud Creek, which is right here off of Jones Maltzberger in Redland. And this park is really cool. The reason, it gives you a lot of history on San Antonio as well. There's a big dam here. This area at one point used to be a floodplain, and so they built a dam and all of this, you know, big infrastructure there. And so you can go and hike around it and check it out. It gives you the history of the area. My dog loves it. It's a great 4-mile hike. If you just want to do a 4-mile hike, you can go under 1604 and keep going. I'm not a big fan of going under 1604. I don't know about it. It's something about going under freeways. It weirds me out. There's nothing wrong with it. It just weirds me out personally. So we go around in here, all in this area. It's a solid 4-mile hike, and it's really great to wear your dog out. There's no park. I wouldn't suggest it for kids unless they really just like to hike and enjoy nature. It's very beautiful and very peaceful, but there's no playgrounds or anything like that. It's just a little trail to go look at, but looking at the dam and the infrastructure is pretty cool over there. You also have a lot of restaurants and things to do right off 281. Of course, you have Airtopia. It's a big trampoline park. We frequent there quite a bit with all of our kids. But you got lots of restaurants here. And then also when you get to the 1604 and 281 corridor right here, there's a lot. So lots of restaurants and shopping in this area. And then you've got like an H-E-B over here, and then lots of restaurants and shopping and things to do on this side of town. Now, you do have multiple grocery stores in this area. It's just a matter of where you are at in the Northeast that works best for you. But there's a solid 4 to 5 H-E-Bs just in this area. That's not even including when you go further north. Now, as far as taxes go, you do have lower taxes when you go north of 1604. So if you go to Wortham Oaks out here, your tax rate is lower than if you are in the 1604 area. My taxes are at a 2.3. I know we get some comments where they say taxes are 2.7. I haven't seen that. I'm at a 2.3 and I fight my taxes every year. It's the joy of Texas. You can protest them, and I do. I actually have mine next week that I'm protesting. So taxes are a factor when you're looking in the price point. But if you are going north of 1604, your home value prices are going to be closer to the 350K and up to 2 million, 3 million when you get into the hills over here by TPC and the golf course up there. So you do have, the prices are higher, but your taxes are lower. So really it's just, you choose. And then if you go south of 1604 into this majority of the Northeast area, you're anywhere from 215. Yes, you can find a house at 215, especially in this area, and up. So lots of different pricing options. You can still have the American dream of being a homeowner in the Northeast, which I really like. There are a big mix of neighborhoods with HOAs and without HOAs. Because it is an older part of San Antonio, you will find non-HOA neighborhoods. As you get to the west side that are newer homes, it's very hard to find a neighborhood without an HOA. So I know we've got a lot of people coming from California and New Mexico, and that seems to be a thing. They're just not big fans of HOAs. So there is that option here in the Northeast. Now, if you want a staycation, I mean, this is probably not really a thing for this video, but I will say The JW Marriott out here, it's an absolutely gorgeous facility. It has a really nice lazy river. It's a great staycation if you just want a break from life, but don't want to go very far. That's a really great place to go. They also have a great golf course. The Valero Open is hosted on this golf course, so it is famous. So it's a really great golf course if you like golf. And then the homes in that area are definitely going to be a little more expensive. They tend to start around the 600,000s in that area. There are newer as well. So the further north you go, the newer homes you get. I wouldn't say south, but below 1604, they are going to be more dated, more 1980s to 2010. There are a few neighborhoods, like I mentioned before. You've got a really, really nice community right off Jones Maltzberger and Redland, and it's actually right here. So Mustang Oaks by Ashton Woods. This is a new build community, but again, it's a very small community. Like they can't fit more than 100 homes in there because it was farmland that they just sold. So, but there's little pockets of that. And then you also have off of Redland Road here, you've got a whole bunch of new builds right here, actually it's up here. I'm wrong. So Driscoll Middle School is right here, and then you've got a bunch of new build communities that are going up right here. And then you have some more new build communities, but they're going to be a little more east over here off Stall Road, and where am I at? O'Connor. So you've got more new builds in this area as well. Scott Felder's in this area right here. So some beautiful homes. So overall, that is Northeast San Antonio for you. You've got Morgan's Wonderland as well. So lots of different things for you to do and to check out. I would definitely suggest that you watch our Northeast vlog, which is going to be Don't Move to the Wrong Neighborhood in the Northeast Part 1. Part 1 is going to specifically go over homes under 400,000, so you can see the great neighborhoods and what the neighborhoods offer in that price point. And we'll bring you Part 2 that are going to be homes 500,000 up. So really great mix. It's very diverse. It's a great part of town. I'm a little partial because honestly, once I moved into this area, bought my first house, I haven't left it. I bought 3 more houses in this area because my kids go to school in this area, and also I just love it. So that is all I have. If I missed anything or it was boring, let me know. I appreciate your feedback, and we would love to hear from you. Please feel free to leave a comment. All of our information is listed below. Steve and I would be honored to hear from you, and we would love to be your realtors of choice and help you make that smooth transition and to decide if the Northeast is the right part of town for you. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.